Here's one of the stashes. That's Epido in there, but all the rest here are your Dallasites. The ones you're mostly after are going to be like this one. So this is where you're getting the brecciation with the Epido and basalt falling back down into the pillow lava as it's cooling. These ones, it's in areas, but you're trying to avoid ones with too much white or also too much of the post rock there, the basalt. As far as the site goes, this is the entry point where you'll walk down on the trail. I'll show you the trail and the parking at the end of the video, but the trail is literally just behind this tree. Super easy access, 3-minute, 5-minute hike that way, back to a road where you park, flat hike. I think anyone can really access this point. Beautiful river, and there's also fossil clams and ammonites on it too, which I'll do as a separate video. So with the intro done, let me throw together a pile of Dallasite and explain it when I've got the pile in front of me. But for now, I'll just show you what's happening here. It's all river rock, and as you walk through, there's various things here. You're gonna see Epido, for example, these bright green colors. These are Epido. It's the same greens like when you're on the Fraser River. You'll see it as well. The Dallasite, which this is, you'll also see it in there. Things like this rock, that green area, that's Epido. Here's a Dallasite as well. But there's Dallasite that's better quality and worse quality. So let me show you the pile to explain the qualities here. And I'm going to tell you all about how it formed too. So, check this out. So let's start with how it formed. The way Dallasite forms, a lot of Vancouver Island formed this way before I think it was before Pangea, but a long time ago. Lava was extruding, extrusive quartz versus intrusive. Intrusive is when it's within the earth. Extrusive is when it's near the surface, and the quartz, the hot lava is molten and extruding out. So we have extrusive quartz that bursts out near an underwater volcano in the ocean, and it creates something called pillow lava. Pillow lava only forms underwater. So what's happening is essentially the quartz and the basalt and everything that's in that lava is flowing, but it's cooling so fast, so a skin is being formed on top of the lava, and basically the molten lava is running through it, and it creates this billowing bulge, which we call a pillow. It's not too big, it's literally the size my hands are making it, around that size. But eventually the backflow bursts that hardened skin and pops out another pillow. So you get these pillows that keep compounding upon each other. So when you take a cross section later on of that earth, you can actually see these rainbow patterns throughout. So it's essentially a layer there where that hardened rock, as it was cooling, as that pillow was forming, it was still expanding and it brecciates. So there's chunks that harden, solidify, but the lava keeps pushing and then it hardens again. So that's your brecciation, which looks like floating pieces that get trapped inside the extrusive quartz. So they're chunks of basalt, which is a fine grain lava flow. You've got Epido chunks in there as well. This all making sense, Rick? All right, so that's why it looks like floating chunks everywhere, is because it's that layer on the surface of the pillow that broke apart and kind of just got captured inside the lava. So the high quality ones are the ones with the most amount of patterns from that area there. Okay, now we're starting to get really nice ones. Actually, we've been getting them the whole time. Now I'm finally filming it. So this is what I mean by the patterns are beautiful. You can see the chunks just floating in there. So that's what we're after. There are ones that will have more yellowing. That's weathering. So that's discoloration, and it will actually grind out when you get half a millimeter into it. All this quartz will become stark white. And that's the basalt on the bottom. You'll notice Epido inside. You can actually find brecciated, like bright green Epido chunks in these. Here's one I chose to leave behind for someone else. It's got mediocre pattern, but see how the back here is all just basalt? That, what color is that, gray, brown? There's just too much basalt on there, it's not worth taking. I don't want to lug that back to the vehicle when there's so many here. I'd rather pick up a different one. So I'll leave it there for someone else. Now, it's not a high-grade gemstone by any means. Anything that's valuable is transparent for basic understanding. It's very common, and pretty much the entire east side of Vancouver Island is covered in Dallasite. And I got my employee trekking back with a backpack full right now. It took us maybe 20 minutes to fill a backpack here. The reason this site is so easy right now is because there's a drought happening, which means this creek or river, whatever you want to call it, is very low. So we can access the center points. We can literally walk across the other side, and we can get at the Dallasite in the center here that no one can usually access. So it's very, very abundant right now. So if it's 3 years from when I filmed this video, check what the creek levels are, if there's another drought, or if it's a certain time of season where there's no snow runoff and the creek is lower. That's the season you want to come see it. The hike in, I'll show you that at the end of the video, the parking and the hike in, but just behind this tree here and just behind that tree, there's a flat trail that leads back along the side of the creek. You can't get lost in it. It's very flat. Anyone can make it. You could almost push a wheelchair if it had outdoor wheels down it. Like it's a super easy trail. 5 minutes to the site where I'm standing. And of course, the farther you go down the creek, the more Dallasite you're gonna find, because less people have been there to dig it. On almost any creek or river on the east side of Vancouver Island, on the beaches, you're gonna be able to find Dallasite. Let me prove it to you right now by just walking around. And like I said, the quality is what matters. You can always take them and dunk them in the water to figure out whether they're any good. And as I dunk these ones in, I realize there's another one right there, and there, and there, and there. So anyone that tells you it's a valuable gemstone, I'm sorry, but ultimately it is not, because it is there, and it exists in very large chunks too. Just where I am is the first access point on the river where everyone has been, so it has been overpicked, but you can see it in the center of the screen. There's a couple there, there's small ones down in there, and again, this is a very easy access point. Like I said, you go farther down the river, you're gonna find nice pieces, big pieces. That's a poor one. There's one. And there's the same one that I just threw, but even in the river there, that white piece of quartz. Actually, you know what? I'm barefoot. I can just walk over there. Let's hope I don't slip. Hey, look. There's one. There's one. I'm gonna reach for this one. I gotta pull my sleeve up here. Bear with me. All right. Okay. Look at that. There's a piece of Dallasite. So it is incredibly abundant. There's one. As fast as I can say, there's one down in there, you're gonna find them. So anything that as fast as you can bend down and pick them up, you'll get them, is probably not a gemstone, because gemstones are rare, right? And it's like this on the whole East Coast. So here in this stash, this one here, this has a great pattern, lots of contrast. You can tell the isolated chunks very easily. They stand out because they're just sort of floating out of place. And again, the formation has everything to do with that. Whereas some of these ones, you can see them floating in there in the quartz, but they don't pop the same way that one does. And it's a bit more bland. This one, great pattern right on the edge there, and right here. So overall, that's a unique rock, but there's a lot of quartz. So the pattern is everything. Remember that. And there's about 4 components for this. The quartz and the basalt, you're trying to avoid ones that are mostly quartz. For example, like that. Sure, it's got a little bit of pattern in there, but it's essentially just like a milky quartz. So we can say bye-bye to that one because it's so abundant, and we'll dig better ones. And you'll also find a lot of epidote at this site in general. So the epidotes are the bright green. I'll just show you too. Here's my pile of more of those, but let's go find some epidote. Like right there, I see one. And again, it's gonna be the brightest green out here. Oh, stubbed my toesy, almost fell. But we're okay. I'm not gonna cut that. You guys gotta know, the real life dangers of rockhounding without shoes. You stub your toesies. All right, back into it. I think I kicked the rock and it's gone. Well, there was epidote there. Let's just find another piece. This one here, you can see the bright green, those bright green bands. Not up top, but literally immediately above my fingernail. Throw it here. That's your epidote, and it is very abundant. You're not going to find crystalline gem epidote out here, but you will find that bright green everywhere. Here we go, this one. All that bright green in there, that is epidote, and quartz also. That might actually make a nice rock. I might just make that into a little sphere or something. So I'll take that one, but there is plenty of epidote here as well. So epidote is all over BC. Let me find you one more piece just to prove how prevalent it is here. So in the surface there, that bright green, that is epidote. Here's another little piece of epidote. That light green color in there. So if you really start searching for it, you know, right under my feet without taking another step, let's see if we can find more pieces here. There's more Dallasite, by the way. Here's a piece. Again, that epidote has a bright green, and it's all through the basalt rock here. Some are going to be ugly, some are actually going to be very pretty. Okay, Rick, tell us about this one.
It's like a natural cement. It's sedimentary rock and a bunch of other rocks in a conglomerate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes they call it pudding stone.
There you go. Good job.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the trail on the way in. You'll walk under this bridge, and if you need a home, this could be a great new place for you. But you keep going. It's what, you think 4 minutes that way?
I think so.
So 4 minutes down the road and you'll be there. Or down this trail. And this is on the way back. It's what, a minute from here? Okay, this is the second site. So over that group of boulders there, you come in the trees. When you're walking the trail, you get to a certain point where the trail gets thin and it just heads uphill. Immediately before it actually takes an incline, you're gonna see an easy point to come access the river again. And walk up on the side here. It's all flat here. Come around and you'll see how much gravel there is. There's a lot of Dallasite all throughout this. Additionally, in the sidewalls over here, that's where you're gonna find more fossil concretions, as well as clamshell fossils directly in the rock.